Seals whispered, "Who's shooting? Where is he?" Then a ghost sniper rose from the river begins at the edge of a forgotten conflict zone where the jungle met a wide, slow-moving river that swallowed sound and light alike. The night operation had gone wrong within minutes. A Navy SEAL reconnaissance team had inserted quietly under cover of monsoon mist, expecting minimal resistance and a clean extraction of intelligence from a compromised enemy relay station deep in hostile territory. But as soon as they crossed the tree line, suppressed gunfire cracked through the darkness from an unknown direction, precise, disciplined, and impossibly fast. One SEAL dropped behind a fallen log, whispering into his mic with controlled urgency, asking the question no one wanted to answer: "Who's shooting? Where is he?" The team scattered into defensive positions, scanning thermal optics and night vision feeds, but there was nothing, no heat signature, no muzzle flash, no movement in the trees. Yet every time they tried to reposition, another round struck dangerously close, slicing bark, snapping vines, and pinning them in place like the jungle itself had turned against them. Panic never surfaced, but confusion did, and in elite units confusion was often more dangerous than fear. The SEAL team leader signaled a fallback toward the riverbank, thinking the attacker might be elevated or concealed in the canopy, but even that assumption failed when another precise shot disabled their comm relay. Silence followed, heavier than gunfire, and for the first time in years of combat deployments, the SEALs felt watched rather than engaged. Then, from across the river, something shifted. A ripple broke the water's surface. Not from wind or current, but from something rising beneath it. A shape emerged slowly, barely visible, cloaked in wet camouflage that swallowed light and reflection. No one had seen him enter the water, and no one had seen him fire from land. Yet the trajectory of every round now made sense, converging from angles that could only originate from the river itself. The legend they had dismissed as battlefield myth began to take form: a ghost sniper, a soldier who did not use terrain but became it. Years earlier, intelligence fragments had spoken of a lone marksman operating off-grid in contested zones, appearing only in moments of extreme asymmetry, dismantling enemy ambushes and vanishing without trace. Some believed he was a fabricated psychological weapon, others said he was a deserter from a classified program that never officially existed. Now, under the dim reflection of moonlight fractured by water, he stood half-submerged, rifle stabilized against a floating brace he had engineered from debris and wreckage. The SEALs hesitated, not from fear, but from recalibration, because nothing in their training accounted for a shooter who used the river as both concealment and firing platform. The ghost sniper did not rush. He did not waste movement. Another shot rang out, not at the SEALs but past them, striking a hidden enemy spotter perched deep in the foliage on the opposite bank. A body fell silently into the brush, confirming what the SEALs had suspected too late: they were not the target, but the bait. The real threat had been waiting to ambush them once they were pinned. The riverman, if he could be called that, shifted slightly, scanning with a scope fitted for low-light distortion, his presence still almost invisible despite being in plain sight. One SEAL, a seasoned operator who had survived desert ambushes and Arctic insertions, finally keyed his mic again, voice steady but altered by disbelief, asking the only question that mattered now: friend or ghost? There was no immediate response. Instead, the sniper adjusted his position and fired again, eliminating a second hidden shooter that none of the SEAL optics had detected. Only after the echo faded did a transmission crackle through a frequency the SEALs were not actively using, a backchannel reserved for worst-case coordination breaches. A voice, calm and stripped of emotion, simply said, "Target is not you. Exfil through river corridor is now open." The realization hit them all at once. The ghost sniper had not interrupted their mission. He had been guiding its survival from the shadows, dismantling a larger unseen net that had been closing around them from the moment they entered the zone. As the SEAL team regrouped and prepared to move toward the water, they saw him again briefly, half-submerged, disappearing beneath the current as quickly as he had appeared, leaving only drifting ripples and unanswered questions behind. No name, no unit designation, no confirmation of existence. Just the unsettling certainty that somewhere between land and water, between ally and anomaly, there existed a soldier who did not belong to any known command structure, yet still chose targets with absolute precision. And as the SEAL slipped into the river to extract under his unseen cover, one truth lingered in every mind: in warfare, the most dangerous operator is not the one who was seen and feared, but the one who appears only after the question has already been asked. Who's shooting, where is he, and why did he already know they were coming?